But today we are going to make a god. And in order to play this game, at least like the way they want, you need tarot cards. So I bought these Ukiyo Tarot. I saw them at Barnes & Noble. They're really cool. They're like a old school or kind of modern like Japanese art for all of them. They're really pretty. Like they're really pretty. So we're gonna definitely, we're definitely gonna jam out with those. I mean, I looked on the box. It says like the art is there. It doesn't say that it's AI art, so I'm going to really hope that that's correct, because I chucked the receipt, and if so, I'm just gonna have to fucking throw them away. But anyway, the game tells you either making a Shinto god or Luffy. We could make both. We were gonna try and make Guppy into a god. If I kept getting the platinum and FF10, go for it. Do all the fucking Dark Aeons, have fun. Go watch Dan's Great Gaming. He's been doing challenge runs of that game for like 15 fucking years. Man's got it, I won't lie. But yeah, so it says to break your deck into the major and minor arcana. Yes, I know this is not normally how you use tarot cards, but I'm not really too worried about it. No, it's not nearly as bad, honestly. We're gonna. Oh, sorry, you guys are. There we go. One of the whole things of like, uploading these VODs is actually sharing what you guys say. So we have Major Arcana. Since we just played Isaac, you guys all know that. Like the Sun, the Moon, Lovers, Judgment, all that good stuff. And then the ones that you don't see in Isaac are all the Cups, Pentacles, Wands, and Swords, I think. And then I think there's either one all the way up to King of each. So let us go on in. I'd just grind to fill each character's sphere grid to max. Yeah, you could do that. We'll do the FF10 RPG one day. Well, I'm pretty sure someone's here, because Snoot's borking up a storm. Alright, so let us... I think you guys might actually be able to, like, read this kind of, which is cool. But we'll go through it real quick. Deify is a creative writing RPG that allows players to chart the story of a god from the moment they are thought into existence to either the death of their final follower or until they are abandoned by their last believer. Based on mythology from around the world, Deify is for people who spent all night reading about gods and monsters, heroes and tragedies. This is your opportunity to live those stories and make them your own. Create and develop your deity's life by answering story prompts and managing attributes, all navigated by the pull of the cards. Watch as your gods transform through their lifetime, changed by the people and events they encounter. How you keep track of the story is your choice, but you may use the notebook in the back of this to express yourself as you see fit, whether by prose, poetry, or even sketches. Additionally, thanks to all the playtesters. Most importantly, this is your story, so make it your own and create something epic. Thank you, I appreciate it. I made sure to down an entire bottle of Febreze. And then we might, depending on what I do with this audio, we might end up turning it into one of the episodes for the podcast. I really wish Twitch would allow... I really wish Twitch would allow different stream tracks, but it is what it is. I think we technically can, but I'd have to end stream and redo it, so we'll just do it next time. So, this is Gaia, the Enduring One, God of Strength. A mother's knees start to buckle under the weight of a boulder as her babies lie beneath her. Alone after a landslide, the woman prays not for physical strength, but for the strength to endure, to hold on until help can arrive. Created in that moment, Gaia infuses the mother with her godly strength, taking the woman's burden as her own. The mother survives, and as the legend grows, more children see the Enduring One as their protector, adding their wishes to the weight of the stone, always on her shoulders. But Gaia never complains. She is responsible for the children's happiness and safety, and she bears it with pride. Yeah, I know, seriously. You'd think with how long Twitch has been a thing, yeah, I think YouTube even has that now, which we might start trying. So, here is, I mean, this right here is pretty much all the rules. It's technically one page, so we'll run through it real quick. So the game is run by pulling cards from a tarot deck, or by using a standard deck of cards. But I mean, if we're going to do it, we may as well go all the way from it. And you could also use it in an online generator if you want. But anyways, first we're going to split the major arcana from the minor arcana. So there we are. During the game, you will draw 1 from the major arcana, followed by 3 from the minor arcana. Follow that pattern until you pull the world card. The World. Each card corresponds to a specific prompt. These will often feature conflict your god is experiencing. The prompts will also affect your character's attributes, changing how they develop as the game is played. Players choose how to resolve these conflicts before moving on to the next pull. The prompts can be answered in a short sentence, long poem, or long paragraph, or even as part of a poem. Draw, do whatever you want. Remember, the best thing about solo RPGs is you get to play them however you want. There's no wrong way to play. I mean, there is, but don't worry about that. Players choose how to resolve these. Yep. Okay. Minor Arcana represents minor events your god is experiencing, such as the emergence of a new pantheon or a war breaking out amongst the mortals. Conversely, Major Arcana signify big changes to your deity, the moments that myths are written about. The prompts on these cards should have an impact on the rest of your deity's story. It might. Well, so we can't technically die. The whole thought is all of your followers die, or the belief in you is so weak that you fade into obscurity. It's the age-old argument of how many gods do we have now, and how many gods have we lost throughout history, right? Think about all the peoples that either are no longer around or were killed off. The majority of them also had gods too. Who's to say that one of these long-dead deities isn't the actual solution, or isn't the actual answer to, life after death? Wouldn't that be fun? If you get thrown into, like, the Celtic afterlife or something. Major Arcanas have 2 other abilities that distinguish them from minor. First, they can modify the game rules, giving the player a new ability or challenge for the next set of pulls. For example, whenever you would normally gain an epithet, you may now gain a domain instead. These rules stay in effect until the next Major Arcana is played. So, the easiest way that the very, very simple, basic explanation of how to play the game is draw 1 major, then draw 3 minor. Everything that you draw has various responses and prompts in the book, and from there, you go until you get to the next phase. So, which reminds me, I have to grab the Fool, because the game always starts with the Fool. This music is really good for this. So we'll move this off to the side. And we have the Fool, and here is how we're going to be starting our gameplay. Reroll my choices. When you draw 3 minors, look at them, discard them, and draw 3 new ones. Sure, fuck it. Bring me to the Celtic land of shadows. Yeah, right. Thank you. And actually, I'm happy someone's actually using this. So this one has no rolls, to the best of my knowledge. But anyway, the game always begins with the Fool, which I think that's like an Asian interpretation, like an Eastern interpretation of Alice, maybe? That's kind of what I'm getting there. But yes, we'll actually look at what those are, and then we'll redo them. That's pretty fun. The game always begins with the Fool and ends whenever the world card is played. Additionally, there are 3 phases of game. You start with the birth phase, which is the Fool. You shift to the prime phase after the chariot card is pulled, and you enter the decline phase when you play the tower card, mainly because you summon a bunch of bombs. You can enter the latter 2 phases in any order, but if you wish for a more seamless story, you may choose to remove the tower from the deck until the chariot's pulled, etc., etc. The player can choose to continue game before playing the world for as long as they wish, but for a quicker game, players can choose to pick the chariot from their first Major Arcana. So, we'll just look at it one more time. The way the game plays, you always start off with the Fool. After that, you draw 1 Major Arcana and 3 Minor Arcana. You look through all those to see what the events are in the prompts, and then you chart it down. And if you'd like, I printed a few little prompt responses spots. You don't have to. You could also just grab a notebook. What life could have been, exactly. And then once we pull the chariot, go to the next phase. Do the same thing. Tower, next phase. And then once we end, so to speak, once we draw the world. For all of these, there are 4 different minor arcana: cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. Pentacles? Cups represent the worshippers. How do believers pray to you? What kind of altars are built? What offerings are given? This will often influence the ways the gods interact with the followers. Wands concern your relationship with other gods. These may be your siblings, anthropomorphized phenomena, or even other versions of yourself. Swords dictate your champions. More than just worshippers, these are your chosen by the god and represent God's will on earth. They are easily lost, but no less precious. And pentacles, I'm assuming pentacles, determine how you interact with the mortal world. This can determine the outcome of wars, weather patterns, or even the birth of a new species. Ooh. And then we are going into our deity. So for the first one, as I said, we're going to play Guppy. We're going to make Guppy from hit roguelike Final Fantasy 13. Do I want that pen? No, I want a better pen. I want a nicer pen. So let us throw. So we have in here, and we'll just go through some of this. You have your 3 types of attributes: domains. Where are we at? Domains, epithets, and practices. No, I don't have one, unfortunately. Attributes can be gained and lost from both major and minor arcana. You begin the game with 1 attribute each, with 1 of each attribute, which you obtain via the Fool card. First, there are the domains, the aspect of your mortal world that the god controls. This can be anything from women to reign to death. Could it be reigning with dead women? That's horrifying. Don't even think about that. Next are the epithets, the names mortal use when referring to the god. It's bad luck to refer to gods by their true names, so their aliases often protect others from misfortunes. For example, the Lady of Winter, the Golden-Eyed, the Light of Dawn, the Whispering Eye. Pen-wielding tentacles, pentacles, perfect. Lastly come the practices, the way in which followers of your deity perform their worship. Some may develop originality, like a god of strength being invoked during athletic competitions, or a god of fortune who is celebrated by throwing gold coins into a river, while others may come specifically from prompts forcing you to reconsider what type of god you're becoming. Occasionally, prompts will dictate that you either gain or lose an attribute. In that case, you may choose which attribute is affected. And then we also have champions. Beyond their otherworldly aspects, gods may have a specific human who carries out their will in the mortal world. These humans are known as champions. Their champions are watched over by their god, and their backstories and actions should reflect that. A champion of love could be a prosperous matchmaker setting up happy couples, or a devious heartbreaker with a new beau in every town. Gods can only have 1 champion. If a prompt requires the player to gain a new champion, they will lose their current one. When a champion is created, you must give them a name, a talent that connects you, a short description of how you met, and at the end of their life, a description of their fate. Ooh, that's a fun one. If a player loses all of their domains, their god begins to fade and their influence is minimized. The game's not over, but you must lose any existing epithets and practices. You can keep your current champion, but if your champion is lost, you may not acquire another one until you at least have 1 domain. Okay, so there we go. So that's pretty much how we do. So let us do our first one. So our true name is Guppy. What's the cooldown on reroll? I think 30 minutes. I said either 30 minutes or an hour, I can't remember. So we are going to go through it. And let's build the beginning of our god. Like I said, Guppy is our true name, which we never would... Ooh. I gotta take those off because those aren't working right now. So, the Fool. You are just a thought, but that thought is enough. You have been conjured into being. Describe your first worshipper and how they came up with their first practice. What were they thinking of when they were created? That becomes your first domain. Lastly, what do they call this new figure they have imagined? That becomes your first epithet. This worshipper also becomes your champion. It might have been once per person per stream. I can't remember. All right, so let us take a look. I'm gonna use this as a bookmark. So, describe your first worshipper and how they came up with your practice. So what is our first practice going to be? What would someone do to invoke the worship of Guppy? And in the back, if you are curious, there are names. There are names, immortal names, there are sacred objects, plants, champions, domains, epithets, practices, etc. So if you wanted, you could, for instance, take 2d20 or 2d10, roll it. So that would be an 8. Mixing blood between companions. That's terrifying. They got a severe concussion. Would that make more sense for making Guppy? The thing is, it's a practice that they were going to invoke every single time that they want to, like, invoke your name for worship or for blessing or benefit or what have you. So, the mixing the blood one is not really one that talks to me. How about, since there's only 40 of them, let's go what's half of 58? 26? 26 is pouring water or wine over a pregnant person. That's not a good one. I don't know if I like that one. Would that work though? Because we're trying to do, like, if we're trying to do the Isaac theme, then that would be kind of like Mom, right? Pouring 29 is half. 29 would be teaching others to read. I definitely don't think Guppy does that. Guppy absolutely does not do that. Let's go. There's just stealing. Jesus. Practices. Let's go. What's a good one? Yeah, there's really nothing. Guppy bathes themselves in honey to attract flies. Okay, you know what? Oh, I like that. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of, like, bathing ourselves in honey, our first practice is going to be... Let's do... Not honey baths. Let's do putting a dot of honey. We'll get to buildings and everything later. Let's do putting dot of honey on forehead. We'll do that. Putting a dot of honey on your forehead. And what is this actually invoking? What were they thinking when you were created? So is it holy honey? It could be. It's blessed honey. The honey could become blessed through the practice. Now, what is it that we're trying to do? So we're trying to attract flies. Why would we attract flies? What is the reasoning for attracting flies? Let's go. Attracting flies to use as bait? Flies, the messengers of the gods. That's horrifying, isn't it? Kill off plague rats that were ravaging the countryside. I like that. That could be good. So, our first domain is going to be, I guess, removing plague then. Removing plague from beasts. How's that? So we could be kind of like an animal healer, I guess. Lastly, what do they call this new figure? This will be our epithet. When all plague is gone, then what? Plague is never gone. Maybe we end up spreading plague as well as curing it. The fly bringer? The buzzing one? The buzzing one sounds both horrifying and weirdly therapeutic. Let's do that. Our first epithet is going to be the buzzing one. The pure pestilence. Yes, we're essentially going to be a horseman. New plagues always emerge. The species of the land will bioengineer more. Yes, I like that. I like that. And so, call this new figure. This worshipper also becomes our first champion. So, let us see. So what should the name of our first champion be? Should we... Let's pick Magdalene or Eve. Who do we want as our first champion? If we're going with the Isaac theme, we need to pick one of the names. What should the... It would make sense for Maggie, right? Because Maggie heals. Not Judas. Absolutely not. I'm going to say Maggie. So we're going to have Maggie as our first. So we'll do Maggie as our first champion. Maggie dabs a dot of honey onto her forehead to bring about pestilence healing flies. Yes. I like that. I like that. We're off to a good start. In the name of the buzzing one. Ooh, okay. Okay, we're off to a good start. I like this. I like this. All right. So remember, domain, practice, and epithet are our attributes, and we can gain and lose them as we go through. So, when you finish that and record the story of your first champion, remember to leave yourself a lot of space, as when you lose an attribute, it's not erased but crossed out. So if you guys have ever heard of 1,000-year vampire, it's kind of the same thing. The whole thought process is over 1,000 years, you gain and lose your memories, and those memories are essentially your currency and your abilities. After all, what has been lost can always be rediscovered. The next step is to determine your characteristics. You begin the game with one of each type except for the symbols, of which you start with 3. After you decided on your attributes and characteristics and entered your first prompt, it is time to begin. Pull your first minor arcana card and begin your journey through divinity. So, there are 4 types. We have sacred places, symbols, appearance, and associated deities. So we need one of each, but we need 3 symbols. So let's go. Again, you can roll if you'd like, but if we're going to be doing this, then why not actually do it all completely? So we need a sacred place. So what is our sacred place going to be? Flip one of the pile of 3, then toss it to pull the next one off the top. Yeah. But we haven't started yet because this is still building Guppy initially. Yeah, we haven't. Once we get through all this, then we start. And yeah, we're going to look at our first 3 Arcanas and we're going to chuck them. But we're going to see what they could have been, because I like that idea. I definitely like that idea. And so, a sacred place, a basement. It's too easy, right? A basement. And the characteristics don't really change. That's why if you notice, you like the animal, the plant, the object, and everything is like there's only one little location, whereas like these domains and practices, you have a whole bunch of space to use. Below the dirt. Basement, ooh, or yes. Below the dirt. No, because below the dirt could be dark sheds, it could be caves, it could be anything. Sure, there we go. Home safety hotline. Maybe, maybe not. What else do we have? We have our appearance. So what would our appearance be? Our appearance would be cat-like. Feline. We'll do cat-like. An associated deity. Is there anything that's even close to Beelzebub? We could use Beelzebub. Or Baphomet. We could use one of the angels. I think Beelzebub is like that's the one, right? Or a healing deity. I'm trying to think of healing deities from like SMT. Anahita? No, that's water. Skathach? Skathic? I can't remember. I can't remember a lot of the deities. How about good Beelzebub? Asclepius, Apollo, Imhotep, Ire. Let's do Ire. Alright, cool. Sacred place, sacred appearance, sacred deity, and now we need 3 symbols. What are our 3 symbols? So 1 is obviously one of our symbols is obviously Skittle. Or Mulligan. I think that's more of a bat, but that's supposed to be a cat, but that's fine. Stylized tribal cat head? Yes, although I can't draw tribal. But yeah, we'll do something like that. And then one other. I mean, dirt, maybe? Darkness? A fly? I already chose a fly. Oh, plague. How would you draw plague? Besides that one Yu-Gi-Oh card. Darkness would just be like a moon or something. Black wind. We'll take those 3. Yeah, so these will be our 3 symbols. These are our attributes. These are our characteristics. And we're ready to go. It's time to pull your first Minor Arcana card. All right, so here's the fun part. Since someone rolled us, now let's see. We'll move you here for a minute. Should we do all 3 at once, or should we do one at a time? Also, let me go over here, boop, so I can keep all these. Here's the Fool. Absolutely run them all, okay. 1, 2, 3. So, again, oh shit. So, we're not... There we go. Okay, so you guys can see this. So, the first thing we're going to look at is... 5 of Pentacles. 5. Alright, so we are in our first phase, the birth phase. So we are in the 5 of Pentacles. You have so few things that you hold sacred, so when they are damaged, you feel it echo through you. What of yours is damaged and why? And how do you decide to protect it? Gain a new domain or epithet related to your protection, but lose one of your sacred animals, places, or objects. So, on the plus side, we didn't lose any of that. The 5 of Swords. Why must humans be so human? You have had a falling out with one of your favorites over something you consider trivial, but they feel is so essential, and this schism is disturbing you. What did you argue over, and how do you finally reconcile? Gain a new practice to represent your reconciliation. Alright, so we lost a new practice. And then the Knight of Wands. There is one whom you love the most out of all the gods, someone you feel closest to. Who is that deity and what draws you to them? Gain a new domain related to your relationship, or a practice that your 2 faiths share. So, we lost the possible god love of our life. So those are our 3. I won't write those down because we lost them. Goodbye past life, yes. And now, we're going to do one at a time. The 3 of Pentacles. Pentacles. The other gods have come to you with a proposal. They are pursuing a project in the mortal realm, but need your help to finish it. What is the project, and what do they need from you? Gain a new practice that reflects your participation in this divine effort. So, what are we going to gain? What's this project that this god's coming to us with? Depends on the god. All it says is... It just says the other gods have come to you with a proposal. What is the project and what do they need from you? So what is this project? What's coming? What would they come to the god of healing pestilence for? Right? Let's say, what if they need your passes to guard a holy building site? I could work with that. I could definitely work with that. I think I can rock. I think I could rock that. Now here's the question, of course. If that is the case, what practice? What do they need from us? I need to gain a practice that reflects our participation in this divine effort. So if our pests were to guard a holy building site, how do the pests do that? That's a fun one. Let's go. Then you also become associated with either building repairs of home security. Ooh, that's a good point. Okay. So let's say okay. So let's go with this. We'll do or for but yeah. So let's say that the buzzing one the buzzing one has loaned buildings transcribed with your symbols. Ooh, there we go. The buzzing one has loaned the Black Wind of Night. And we'll do the Black Wind of Night to guard their temples. So let's say the new practice is what would you do to revere the Black Wind of Night? Maybe when there's a breeze at night, you hold your breath for a second. That could be fun. I think we could rock that. It seems that candles and altars with your symbol show proof of something. Yeah, but lit and altars seems like hiding your breath seems weak. I don't think it's necessarily. You got to think, if we're the god of pestilence and healing, we don't need to be weak or strong. We simply are. That's the thing about being something related to either life or death. No matter what, everyone will come to you. Okay, how about that? Then we will use a candle. Let's say they put a lit candle over the threshold of your building, maybe over the threshold of your front door or back door, to protect you, to protect the people inside. No, because if we're using like night, we wouldn't use light to ward us. If anything, we'd use the blackness to ward you. To do so, chant outside the door a small prayer and extinguish a lit candle. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Chant a small prayer, then extinguish a candle to protect your holy site. I like that. I like that quite a bit. And that'll be one of our new practices. Pray, then extinguish a candle. All right, that one I like. When the smoke of the candle symbolizes the black wind as it gets blown out. Oh, that one's good. Okay. The smoke of the candle symbolizes the black wind of night. I like that. I like that. That one's clean. That one's clean. I like that. Okay. So that is our new practice. So now someone, if they wish to get the protection of their holy place from the buzzing one, they'll have to, when they're either entering or leaving their location at night, they chant a small prayer and they snuff out a candle that they might be carrying, or maybe there's one near the entrance. Ooh, that's good. I like that. I like that. It's fun because like this entire game is like world building, right? It's literally world building the game. What would the prayer be? What would the prayer be? Let the winds of night fly me to safety. I like that. It has a pun in it. I like that one. I think we're going to do that. Let the winds of night fly me to safety. There we go. There we go. I like that. That one's good. Okay. All right. Now it is time for our second arcana. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords. All right. The Ace of Swords. Gods have great power, but they are not omnipotent. You have limitations, and you have been struggling with a task that needs to be performed in the mortal world. Thankfully, a plucky young mortal has offered their help. What is the task you want performed, and who is the ambitious mortal willing to try? This mortal becomes your champion if you do not have one. If you already have one, you may choose to replace your current champion with this mortal. Ooh, okay. What is... Do we like Maggie? Maggie is the one that started our practice. Started our belief, started our faith. But a plucky young mortal is willing to help us with a task that we're struggling with. And the task is, if it's something that something of healing or healing of pestilence is it cannot perform easily, I would think the task is to spread pestilence elsewhere for healing, for future healing. Is that an evil one? You're a cat. You can't fill the food bowl. Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. The buzzing one. Actually, you know what? If we should use the fly. We should use the fly as our name instead, since we're using symbols. So we'll do the buzzing one. I mean, the buzzing one is trying to feed stray cats. Easy enough. needs his children, stray cats, to be fed. Okay. To that end, what's our plucky young mortal that may become our champion do? What is their person? What is their name? Who is this? Someone who is willing to go feed cats. Eden? Maybe? There's also names that we can roll at the back of the book, if you're ever stuck on names. Just for funsies, why not? $97 would be Drusa. Drusa. Do we want Drusa? Slaughter a horde of insert food animal here to feed cats across the land. Punitive Prite. Gazoon type. Yes, because that would make sense, because by slaughtering more of the animals, that will bring about more of the flies and more of the rot. So, yeah, sure. Punitive Prite. Punitive Prite. Must slaughter a horde of rats to bring about more flies. Does punitive... This feels strange, since it seems like 90% my ideas. Well, I'm also trying to throw a little bit in there. Also, I want viewer participation, because I could also just do it all myself, but I also like your guys' input. So we are going to get rid of Maggie. Maggie is no longer what we need. Now we have needed. Right. No, but the thing is, I like it because we can still incorporate it. It doesn't have to be serious. We're just trying to have fun, you know. And I do appreciate your bullshit. All right, so number 3 is going to be the Queen of Cups. Let us see what the Queen of Cups has for us. The Queen of Cups: nurturing, caring, protective. These are attributes that your followers have assigned to you. But why? Gain an epithet related to caring for others and describe how you earned it. Oh, dude, that's easy. Oh, that queen has cups, that's for sure. Oh, dude, that's easy. We're getting a new epithet. But I don't think we lose the epithet. Unless it says specifically replace. Or maybe it does. That actually works. Yeah. So you just gain more names. Satan is be able to. Oh no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So then we're going to use our symbol to recognize that as us. Has spread the flies of carrion cleaning to eat up Plague of livestock. Ooh, that's so good. I want to use that for a fucking campaign. The swarm. The cleansing swarm. Oh, that's so good. We're unintentionally making a benevolent swarm. That's so good. The cleansing swarm. The cleansing swarm sweeps through pestilent lands. Yes. Yes, that's good. Okay. The swarm cleanser made me think of killing all flies, but the cleansing swarm's a bunch of healing flies. Yes. No, I do appreciate that, Jay. Sweeps through pestilent lands to obviously cleanse. Livestock and peasant alike. Yes, yes, that one's good. Ooh, that one's my favorite so far. That one's absolutely my favorite so far. Okay. So now it is time for another major arcana, and we'll split all those. Now, by cleanse, do they mean convert? It could. You could interpret it however you want. Think about it this way. If, what the fuck name did you say? Pnuded Prite. If Pnuded Prite showed up in your area that was plague-ridden, and in a very short time, you see a lot of the plague being eaten up and gone, wouldn't you, like if you were a peasant, wouldn't you probably think like, hey, like this person did something, you know? This person is representing some being that really did something. That's cool. That's a cool story, man. That's a great fucking story right there. Yo, when we do another full journaling RPG, remind me about that, because I want to use that as like a base for a story for something. We might actually do that with Loner when we do Loner. Okay. That one's hot. I like that one. And of course, since we haven't really lost anything else, of course, when Prite shows up, and he can Pnuded wear cat ears? Yes, Pnuded is a cat ear wearing person. Or better yet, what if our hoods are cat eared? What if our hoods have cat ears? We have black hoods, or like robes or whatnot, that have cat ears. Perfect. Oh, dude. All right. So see, it's coming together. This is such a good game. This is so fun. Okay. Yeah, and as Pnuded brings the cleanse, I'm sure there are going to be some people. I'm sure there's going to be at least one or two people that say, hey, like, who do you represent that you have done this? You know, who has this power? And then they could say, the buzzing one or the cleansing swarm. Oh, I like it. It's so good, dude. Oh, this one's good. Burn the witch. No. All right, and now it is time for the wheel. The wheel is our next major arcana. So this is a new step in whatever it is that we're doing. So remember, for 3 arcana, Every 3 minor, we do a major. And where is the wheel? The Wheel of Fortune, yes. Time changes you, even at a fundamental level, and you feel your divinity respond to those changes. Lose your original domain epithet practicing champion, then gain a new domain epithet practicing champion related to your original form, but distinctly different. How do you manifest those changes? Do you evolve, or do you split off from your original form, leaving it as its own deity? Gain an extra domain for any card that gives you one, until you pull your next major arcana card, as you temporarily remain connected to your past and present self. So the first question we gotta have is, are we going to evolve, or are we going to split off? Does the Cleansing Swarm survive? Yeah, we lost our original champ, we have. Unfortunately, Maggie is gone. Well, we lost Maggie initially anyway. Yeah, she was already gone. So no loss there, no. But we did lose our original epithet, domain, and practice, right? And practice. So, what we have lost, we could gain again. We lost removing Plague from Beasts. We lost putting a dot of honey on your forehead. And we lost the buzzing one. As well as Maggie, but Maggie was already gone. So, do we evolve or do we split off from original form? What if the swarm... Do we become mom's wigs? Yeah, what if instead of flies we become spiders? Right? That's a cool idea. Yes, our wings... So we'll say that our wings become legs. So we'll write it as change is inevitable. What once flew now crawls. What once cleansed how the fuck do you spell cleansed? Whatever. What once cleansed now devours? The buzzing one is no more. And in its place... Ooh, yes. Go evilish or healing in a different way. No, you have a good idea. Because I think we are trying to work on more of our being, more of our healing, the healing aspect. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. Also, fuck the wheel. Now rebuilds. The buzzing one is no more, and in its place, the all-helping hands. Since we're a spider with many legs. 1,000 helping hands. That's a fun one, right? Sure. And yes, our nuke. Here's a few spitballed names. Okay. Torin Durain isn't that bad. Jermaine Lost Brock. Edinia Folyak. I do like that one. I do like that one. Edinia. Folyak. Why we no longer heal Plague, though? Well, because that's the thing. Like it says, we can evolve, so we don't have to be the original thing. We can still be a healer in a way. Because there are many different ways to heal. Maybe healing the land after the plague? Well, no, wouldn't that just be healing plague? Oh, but why did we need to evolve? How about plague became too numerous and spread out to fly to. Healing curses from other deities. But that doesn't fully like fit with it. So to better heal and help, 1,000 helping hands becomes. I think that could be a pretty good one. I think we're gonna roll with that. Edinia Folyak. We would have to also lose our original practice. War is hell and so is plague. You are not wrong. So our new domain is rebuilding after plague. After plague is struck. No more honey because spiders don't do honey. No. So we would do. We still have the Black Wind of Night, and we still have that prayer. That didn't go away. But let's go with a new practice. If we're talking about hands with spiders, how about if when you greet someone, you do like almost like patty cake, like you clasp hands with someone for a second? And that also symbolizes that I want to help build more walls with you. I like that one, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to rock that one. For maximum chaos, clasp hands and toes? Sure, clasp hands in meeting with toes. Man, I definitely don't want to go fucking, I don't want to meet any of y'all, motherfuckers. Alright, and then, 1,000 helping hands. And then Edinia Folyak, our champion is going to interlocking fingers and interlocking toes. Oh, I like that one. Okay. You're gonna get very pandemonium reigns. Let's go. So Edinia Folyak followed the cleansing swarm to help rebuild after. Just help rebuild after. That'd be easy enough. All right. I like it. I like it. So far we have a nice built history. Let's continue with our next minor arcana. The Eight of Wands. Ooh, that's a cool looking one. I like that. I'm gonna try and paint something like that. All right, so the Eight of Wands. All of the other gods are bogged down by their history, while you just want to be free. Your youth allows you to feel as fleet of foot as the very winds. Gain an epithet or domain related to travelers, the wind, or speed, and describe how you describe your love of wandering. I mean, the wind actually makes sense based on our one symbol, right? An epithet or a domain, and because of we have our wheel, we gain an extra domain for any card that gives you one until you pull your next major arcana. So if we choose a domain, we can actually choose two. The Silken Wind! Oh, I love that! I love that! Okay, we're gonna write on the back of this because I feel we're going to do a lot of writing. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So let's go. Through the hands of 1,000, doing clothing, and now you also do clothing to keep the destitute cold. Ooh, yes! Through the hands of 1,000, the Silken Wind provides clothing to those displaced by plague. Ooh, yes, that's good. The destitute warm, not cold. I'm slightly tipsy. That's fine. I appreciate you helping either way. Get to keep the destitute cold. Yeah, here's some shitty clothes. Have fun, bud. Is this a version of a pilgrimage? One must be upon the throwbearers and traverse a silken road once traveled. I like that concept. I like that concept. That's fun. That is fun. And describe how you discover your love of wandering. Yes. By delivering the silks throughout the land. I can kind of read this, probably. I know y'all sure as hell can't. I have wandered the silken roads. I think we'll just stick with that for right now. And then we also gain... We would gain a domain if we took a domain, but we took an epithet. So we're going to... Okay. The Silken Wind, I love that. I like that. I like that. And then we shall rock with the next one. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Ooh, this one's going to be a good one. Think back to your first follower. They saw something in you, wanted you to be something greater than you were, and they practiced that devotion uniquely. Gain one practice that they created that is only practiced by your followers and describe the way you felt the first time you experienced it. A new practice. Well, we already have, we're clasping our hands and toes. Oh, wait, hello? Where'd that go? Gain one practice that they created that is only practiced by your followers, nothing else. We're getting a lot of practices, man. If we're going to, how about if our followers feed the spider messengers? Yeah, but it's kind of hard to feed spiders, like, if you're not giving them flies. It should be based on Maggie, you're right. Which Maggie is, she put a dot of honey on her forehead. So what if if it was based on her, it would have to probably be honey based again. So let's go. Who knew you as the buzzing one? Those are some holy spiders, they big. Damn right. Maggie at this point is probably long gone. We didn't really write Maggie's demise, but that's fine. We don't necessarily need to. Honey for spiders or silk? Yeah, whenever you get rid of one, you're supposed to technically write how they have ended their life, because remember, we're a god. We're supposed to be measuring in time and epochs and all that stuff, not so much like a single follower's life or whatever. How about just dab a bit of honey onto someone from like a silken rag or something? Oh, she died. Or anointing others. Yeah. Let's do that. Anointing others with honey. Let's do in remembrance of Maggie. The followers of 1,000 helping hands anoint. Too many flies in my face. It doesn't have to be necessarily your face. Magdalene, the first swarm mother. There you go. Anoint one another with a drop of honey. Take a silken sheet apron, a pilgrimage of remembrance with holy honey on hand, deliver unto a follower, and thy journey is complete. That would be more of like a major practice, right? I mean, that would have been something, yeah. That did not give us a new domain, so we don't get a second one. That one's good though. She was known as Magdalene the first swarm. Alright, I like it. Now let's throw our final one. The Two of Cups. Since we're doing cups on cups on cups. For gups on gups on gups. Two of Cups. Although one of your worshippers may have thought you into being, you are not beholden to them. You have your own soul, your own essence. What, in your opinion, makes you, you? Describe a part of yourself, whether that is your appearance, your personality, or your essence. Gain one epithet related to that part of you. Okay, I like that. That's interesting. I think the part that makes me me is still the flies. Or I guess the swarm, right? The swarm, no matter what, we still have it, whether it be a swarm of spiders, swarm of flies, whatever. The swarm is still us, I think. Gain a new epithet related to that part of you. We already have one based on a swarm, so maybe not. Mothman? Okay. I like that. I like that. Wings of a moth? Yeah, fuck it. That was 100% a stupid joke. I know. Yeah, no matter what, it's always going to be swarms, at least for this being. Or I guess cats, too. No, we don't have any epithets based on cats. So... The Eyes of Night. Easy enough. The Eyes of Night. It makes sense, both as a cat and both as the darkness. I'm not going to worry about writing that one for the reflection or anything. Okay, cool. We have gone through that. We are still in the Fool, which is fine. We are still in our birth phase. Once we find the Chariot, we will get into our next phase. So, when you yell my name when you need something named, it's all in my mind. Mine is on now. The Devil. Ooh. We gain a damage buff for this room. Hell of an early phase. Yeah, there's a lot going on in our early life. Let's go. Hoo-hoo. Through your own choices, you have begun your downfall and can feel yourself beginning to fade. Lose one domain, epithet, and practice. If you have one, lose your champion. How did this come to pass? What did you do to cause this? Alright, so, again, we now have no domain. We'll just go with the last one. We lost one of our practices. We lost Adenia. And we lost the Cleansing Swarm. Spider-Man's 3 emo black suit phase? Damn right! Let's see. We'll do the Silken Wind. Since this is our third tarot as well. Very true, very true. And then we're gonna still do like our minors and whatnot. Whenever the fuck we get to the Chariot and start in our next phase of our life, you have an idea of what happened? Sure, give it to me. Give it to me. What we got? What we got? Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I hold all rights to actually use it or not, though. We have begun our own downfall. What did we do to lose all of this? You showed off a shattered winged swarm form. It scared a group of followers and terrified them. Actually, that works really well. Okay. The Silken Wind... took flight in front of a swarm of followers. And thoroughly scared, thoroughly terrified the faithful. Did we also lose? We didn't lose our... If you have one, lose your champion. Yes. You became a story parents tell their kids to scare them into behaving. Yep. Edinia, our champion. Lost belief in the winds of night. Yep, I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. Everyone take a drink, because you've been talking for an hour and a half. Our first one, the 9 of Wands. Interesting. The 9 of Wands. You have found yourself part of a pantheon, but your position is tenuous. You are forced to undergo challenges to prove your worth. What are the challenges, and how do you overcome them? Gain a new practice related to your obstacles. The Pantheon is not trusting. A Pantheon does not trust the eyes of night. Challenge being people think you're a vengeful spirit. Yes. And has put a challenge to us to see if we are of terror or not. A temple safe as the gods try to destroy it? If we're still trying to heal in one way, what if maybe not gods, but the followers of another god? A god put a temple to ruin, and we must attempt to fend off, rebuild, and heal. Yep. Are doubting our purity? Yes. So we currently are at a fork in the road. We can either redeem ourselves to try to keep on going to be a healer, Or we could take the other fork and use that terror as our new power. I like that. I like that. Now, what is the practice that we gain from that? I'm going to say a new practice that we gain from trying to... Because we need a little bit of strength now. What if... This is a weird one. I'm going out on a limb here. What if when our followers go into battle, we drip a... prick a drop of blood on a spider web. On a cobweb. Or just throw it somewhere in a corner, in the dark. After battles, you feast among the shadows. You have a ghostly spider-webbed army. After... That works a little bit better. I don't want our followers to be, like, you know, monstrosities or anything. So perhaps after battles, we... How about after battles, we just... Your followers retreat to the shadows. And perform the other rites, the other practices. And bleed on a cobweb or a cobweb in the dirt. Or a drawn cobweb. Ooh, that works better. Yeah. So they could look to the pestilence for strength and security instead of direct healing. That could be good. Feast in the shadows to fear on the battlefield. That could be good. Feast in the shadows, fear on the battlefield. I like that. I think I'm gonna take that one. Feast in the shadows. Fear in battle. That'll be a good chant. Yeah, I like that one. That one's gonna be good, I think. Yep. Let's rock to the next one. Ace of Wands. I feel we keep pulling a lot of the aces. We've pulled, I think, 2 of the aces or 3 of them now. The Ace of Wands. Though you are at the beginning of your creation, other gods are not. Describe the first god you meet other than your associated deity. What are they the god of? What is their name or epithet? What is your relationship with them at the start? Since we are currently the god of... We are the god of swarms in one way or another. Oh, did I write how Adinia ended? No, but that's fine. And we're the god of swarms. What if... I mean, the easiest one would be like the god of light, right? If we're a god of darkness and a god of swarms, finding the light would probably be the very first thing that ever happens. Because we could totally do a devil and angel on your shoulder idea. It says just one, but I mean, we can do however we want. Come to the dark side. Unlimited power. Yeah, I think we will such as we are the dark. So does the light follow? Because the light follows the dark, not the other way around. We are the darkness, and we are the first. The gleaming light. That could be a good enough epithet for them. And I'd say we are not adversarial, but we are respectful of one another. I'm trying to make this kind of like a rival, not something that complements us. First, we'll call it First Gleam. First Gleam. A rival could complement. True. We'll call it First Gleam. Has been following us since the beginning. We always play tug of war. Well, we always play tug of war, I guess, every day and every day and night. They are our rival. Yes. And now we have... Alright, I like that. Third one. The Queen of Wands. Ooh. The Queen of Wands. Your fellow gods now find you charming and have decided to send you as a diplomat to gods from other pantheons, acting as a go-between on any and all conflicts. This is a wonderful opportunity, but a stressful one as well. You managed to pull off your first meeting, but barely. What happened? Gained either the domain Diplomacy or an epithet relating to your new position, but lose an attribute, as you were forced to give something up to the foreign gods. A fucking shadowy diplomat. I know. So, I think we'll gain a new domain because we have no domain. The domain Diplomacy. So that is... Our new domain is Diplomacy. The shadows will always offer a trade. And we have to get rid of one of our characteristics. And a characteristic is... place, symbol, and appearance. So I say we get rid of we give away one of our symbols. Which symbol are we giving away? Are we giving away our cat symbol? No, that's like the image of Guppy. Do we give away the Wind of Night? The cat symbol, since it hasn't been used at all? Okay, true. We've used it once. At a convention, we have achieved diplomacy with a foreign pantheon. To do so, we gave... Yeah, because we're much more associated with the dark and with the dark and swarms than we are with, like, cats themselves. Even though our appearance, healing plague to healing relationships between man... Yeah, yeah. We gave up our symbol of the cat. Okay. I like it. I like it. Is it time? I think we have time for one more run around. Dude, we did pretty good so far. I like it. We have... Yep, we have time for one more. So, will this be the chariot? If it's the tower, we can push it off. But maybe we can at least get into our next phase of life. The world. We could end. We could be a young god. We could be a young god that went to heal and eventually vanished. Because the world is supposed to be the end. I mean, it's fitting for the end of the stream, right? Because we're going to be ending pretty soon anyway. I think so. I think so. Let's do that. How are we going to wind down our... How are we going to wind down our being? Let's go... Just as the day always ends in night, so too does the darkness give way to light. I live on in the shadowy corners of man's mind, man's heart. Shadowy corners of man's heart. Through healing and help, through healing and help, I bring peace to the fight. I don't know. Sure. Yeah. I bring peace to all fights. Sure. That'll be what ends up on a small gravestone in a very small part of the world, lost and forgotten to time. I like it. I like it. It was a pretty good run. We helped people and we did well. I like it. I like Deify. Deify's a fun one. Deify was good. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Yeah. Yeah. Enjoyed it quite a bit. As Free RPG Day was yesterday, I grabbed a whole heck of a lot of new RPGs. So, next Sunday, we have many options. I'm not quite sure which one I want to do. We'll do one that actually involves dice rolling. We might do Loner Cthulhu. We'll see. Loner's, well, yeah, Loner's pretty fun, because there's not, like, skills or anything. You do rolls, but you don't actually do, like, skills and shit. Might try that. But yes, if you appreciate, or, you know, if you just had fun listening to me ramble on about building gods, or building the timeline of a single deity in a pantheon of gods, go check out Deify. It's a very good one. This one I feel is a lot more introspective because you're dealing with like abstract concepts. You're not so much like, hey, you're a guy who's defeating bandits. It's, hey, you're a being who can possibly bring healing or hindrance to an entire group of people. It was cool. It was cool. I like it.